Believe it or not, I'm at the park and it's nice enough to where there are people out here playing tennis. I decided to come over to a little corner and say a few things about a lot of things. One, I heard that Wendy Adelson is dating a billionaire with a B. That's pretty interesting. Funny how life works, huh? I saw where Donna wanted something rescheduled because of a Jewish holiday. The same Donna Adelson who told Wendy that she should threaten to turn the kid Christian just to get back at Dan. Hey, Dr. Nikki, can you believe that there are people playing tennis? I'm trying not to bother people. I've got a lot of stuff in my head about what I've been talking about on the channel. So I thought I would just log on and ramble. And thanks again, Dr. Nikki. You got great big sister qualities. And I think everybody, benefits from a big sister every once in a while. Yeah, so I was looking into the whole, case with Delphi and, should the judge go? And you know what? Delphi ended up with Judge Fran Bowl because the original judge said that he didn't feel safe and he didn't feel protected because Judge Dina said that he was made aware that his family and himself that the photos were put in YouTube videos. To be fair, wouldn't it unnerve some of you if you, your family, you're put in YouTube videos? And Judge Dina wrote in his motion to recuse himself that there's a bloodlust. That's the phrase he used, bloodlust type thirst for information, for public information about the defendant, Richard Allen in the case. Judge Dina said that he didn't believe that he was protected. He didn't believe that any official in the case was protected. And that was just hours after he signed the safekeeping order to send Richard Allen to the Indiana Department of Corrections to await trial. That's basically where Judge Digner felt like the public could not get to Richard Allen. So, public information, our access to it, there are Europeans, there are people all over the world who envy our right to access public information. And I agree with that right. If the state of whoever, Wisconsin, Indiana, Florida, the United States in a federal court versus a citizen, if the government says that we're protecting you, the public, and we're accusing one of your fellow human beings of a horrific crime, then no, I don't believe that should be a secretive process. And most of those rules come from civil rights, from Black Americans. In fact, most post conviction rules where a person can get back into court over and over again comes from civil rights, from locking up Black Americans. There's a list. Black Americans. One PhD wrote it as the white man with no friends. That would mean a poor white person. The person who speaks no English. How many millionaires and billionaires have you all seen on death row in this country? And usually, when they're prosecuted for any crime, they've been running wild amok on these streets all over the world for 30 years. But Judge Dina didn't feel safe. And that's something that we have to balance. Our right to public information and the safety of the people who's putting all of that into fruition, which are investigators and courts and social workers. How many of you still have a LinkedIn? How many of you have been doxxed? I know that
The last election was so contentious. There were election officials who said people were not only calling their homes and threatening them, but people were riding by their houses. So I think we have to protect our right and our access to public information by using it responsibly. I try as little as possible to put Abigail Williams and Libby German's photo up because I imagine what it's like to be their family, their friends, and to log on to social media and somebody you knew in life. There's a stranger with their pictures up talking about them. I try to be cognizant of that. So, our right to public information, and it's not absolute, there are things that are redacted for a reason. Social security numbers, information that might put a suspect on guard. There are lots of reasons that our right to public information is not absolute. So I thought that I would catch up with everything. Oh, and I hope people decide to look into the Black Swan murder. There are issues in that case. Domestic violence or lying about domestic violence. How many of you know someone who's been falsely accused of domestic violence? Because it happens, especially in divorce. Do you think that as soon as you read that a 54-year-old married a 24-year-old, did you think she was guilty? Is there bias because she's a young woman considered beautiful who married an older successful man? Is that automatic bias? Will that matter to a jury? You think that her attorney wants more men on that jury than women? What about older women? If you were Ashley Benefield's attorney, would you want middle aged women on that jury? Would you want divorcees on that jury? Will Ashley be prejudged? I want to talk about in a different live stream the death of Ashley's husband. How many shots were fired? Which bullets landed? What else is coming up on Elle said what? Oh yeah. I'm fighting for body cam footage and interrogations. And listen, hi my opinion. I'm fighting for that body cam footage and those interrogations. I've got accounts set up. I'm being processed in several different states. But anything with the government is time consuming. You've got one or two states that says, hey, we're backed up. But I've run into really friendly people so far. I'm getting to know them and hopefully they'll remember my name. And hopefully I can actually get that 30 days or less. But heck or high water, body cams and interrogations are coming to ill said what? I think I think that people being entertained by the legal process is a great way to teach people about the legal process. And I think that knowledge, I think knowledge is better armor in a lot of instances than an actual physical weapon. Trying to think. Can you believe people are playing tennis? I don't know if y'all can see that people are playing tennis. Oh, they're heavy. Listen, I get it, my opinion. Murder is heavy. And then I'll take a break from murder. I'll hardly get any views. But I have developed the best audience. You know, with the murder of Dan Markel, I met really solid people. They followed that case from the time his death was announced until the first arrest years later. They're hanging in. They're hanging in for Donna to go to trial, and citizens are bringing the news. And then I meet this audience in the Delphi case. I love my Delphi audience. See, Delphi audience, they don't trust anybody. The judge can get it, the prosecutor can get it, the cops can get it. And I admit that it's heavy. Imagine working in the field. I think that's why a lot of detectives who work violent crimes get jaded, and when they, they become a hammer who only sees a nail. I couldn't imagine. I know just watching First 48. You know what I mean? The way that it was so raw at first, the way they would show, you was into some serious gruesome stories with video. You know what? I think that I think taking a break is definitely healthy, because this is not sunshines and roses. If you believe that that Donna Adelson did what she's accused of doing, she's not in that she's not awaiting trial depressed. She's not like us. These people are not like us. To walk around in evil, I think you definitely got to take a break from it. Surround yourself with good people, life. Remind yourself that evil isn't everywhere. It's not everybody. That's the thing about life balance, I think. Say you laughing and joking. I don't know, Teresa. One of these days you'll have to get up here and talk about one of these cases with me. I'd love to hear your opinion on some of these cases. But I do know that I turned to, a lot of comedy. And when I was in graduate school, I literally started watching cartoons. I didn't watch television for 3, 4, 5 years. You can get a lot done, by the way. Cut out television. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of cartoons are made for adults. And I definitely love to laugh. So, but, I grew up reading Stephen King. A lot of people say, oh, he's got to be a weirdo. He's got to be this. He's got to be that. No, I think that he's no different from, any other thriller or suspense or horror writer. I think their imagination is just different. That doesn't mean they're out, you know, drowning puppies in real life. Yeah, the crimes and joking, knowing the heinous they are crimes they've done, they are not like us. They're not like us. And I thought the old bird Donna Adelson was at risk for suicide. And with her, suicide would be about control. Control. No one's going to punish me. But listen, over 70 years old and she's hanging in there. Son in prison for first degree murder, conspiracy to commit. And I mean, Donna, I couldn't imagine dealing with Donna Adelson when she was 40, 50. She's a force now. Right. And I'll see them, I'll see them, my opinion. I know what you're talking about. These people, they're just not like us. And the mental health field, especially criminal psychology, I mean, we know so little about the brain. Even police impersonators and stalking. I've seen where, people in the mental health field say, we haven't figured out a type of therapy to get that to stop. Basically, these are people who have to be monitored or jailed. We've maybe figured out some triggers, but we haven't figured out how to put them on the paths to ending it. We know so little about the brain. Brain is a very tricky thing. But I do want to talk about this little black swan murder. I am going to get into that, and I am going to get into some collaterals on Delphi. But I took a break from murder, and if you haven't seen it, check out Ye, formerly known as Kanye, all of his lawsuits. There's no way that I would have ever taken a job from Ye to be his assistant on call 24 hours, 8 days, 7 days a week. But I'm not victim blaming the alleged victim. And then there's the $12 million lawsuit that Shiloh Sanders is basically has a judgment against him for, because he did a little 1-2 move in high school on a security guard. And the security guard said he did over $1 million worth of damage that turned into $12 million. And now that 24-year-old is facing that $12 million judgment. But I have developed an audience that they are citizen sleuths, and they're keeping up with the process. They know the names of the actors, as one would say in law, the attorneys, the whole thing. So I have a smart audience. I've got a smart audience. And Teresa, my opinion, Dr. Nikki, they've known me for a while on this app. And I appreciate their support. Those are two ladies that you wouldn't mind have backing you if you knew them. Say, oh Lord. Well, I'm gonna go because I'm tripping off of all these people playing tennis. It's still too hot to move around like that. I've got bottled water out here. It's a lot of sugar and popsicles. But if anybody knows anything about this, the ballerina murder, she said she was on Trump's private plane with him. He called her his little baby. Bombshell. So this conservative couple starts having problems. And we know there's guns in the house. That was a little political joke. So anyway, it's nice seeing you ladies. I'm glad y'all stopped by. I just can't get over the fact that people are playing tennis. I'm sitting under the shade and I'm going to enjoy my water and I'm going to watch these people move around in the sun in a way that I'm just not prepared to. I'll see everybody later. Bye.